hollow grind. Very short, but very deep hollow grind. Show you what we're doing. We're making these little hollow ground pocket fixes. As you can see, these are just little 3-finger knives that go in your pocket. I mean, in a sheath, of course, but in your pocket. See there, it's hollow ground. You can get very thin behind the edge. That's what we're making. Contact wheel, you see it being round, that's what cuts that hollow in. That edge has to hit right dead center of that wheel. I don't know who all in here, but welcome. Hellcat, what's up, Neil? Jason, Imke, Michael up church. For those of you who know me, what I'm making here, this is my Joke Wolf. Jack Wolf is an American company that has their knives made in China and makes the knives of similar size, similar shape. Made in China, they sell it for $247. So I'm combating that by making these in the United States myself. And I'm going to sell these for $247 with a $100 made in the United States discount. So fuck that guy. I'm not mass producing them like he is. But for those of you who don't want some Chinese made shit, I'm giving you an option. For those of you who know about Jack Wolf and know the knife that I'm making fun of, no, this one isn't going to have Zerk blasted titanium bolsters and all that. But it's also not going to support a government in a country that's producing fentanyl to try to poison this country. So I guess you can pick what's important to you. Every friend or family member you've had or acquaintance that you know of that died of fentanyl overdosing, that was China's plan. They're not even making money on it. That's what you're supporting when you support that country. I've already killed Prince and Tom Petty. Fuck the CCP. And I guess anybody else that, supports them when they don't have to. There's times you have to, guys. There's things we buy that we don't have any choice. The American companies quit making things. Now we're stuck having to buy. But this is one that you do not. I've already ruined one of these, so I'm only going to have 4 in this first batch. But I've got more. I've got more metal to make more, so those 4 sell pretty quick. We'll make some more. Pretty. Gotta go flip my blade over, guys. Let me 90 seconds. I'll be right back. First time you've seen this grinder in this configuration. People who have been here before on previous live streams, I'm sure you're noticing it used to stand straight up and down, but it does adjust. I can lay it down to do this particular grind. Doing there, I'm getting a little dip grind in there, get my punch grind set. Trying to get it evened up with the other side. On hollow grinds, I have to eyeball it. I can't put a punch stop on it. I could, but not on this tiny a knife. Tiny hollow grind. Let it grow. I've been live since I went to my little Self-Reliance Festival Sunday, but that went really well, man. I sold a bunch of knives. Made a bunch of contacts, met a lot of awesome people. I had one trailhead left. I love this story. There's a large trailhead, 5-inch blade. This young girl and her husband and their little feral kid came up. I'm not making fun. I love the kid. Kept looking at it over and over. She was undecided. Pretty sure she'd never spent that much money on a knife before. She didn't know anything about steel. She didn't want to know anything about all that. All she wanted to know was, "Mister, you reckon this thing to be good at cutting up my chicken?" I was like, "Ma'am, it just so happens that's the best chicken cutter upper I got on the table." Yeah, thank you, man. Most of you know I'm still fairly new to this, or at least new to the selling side of it. So I'm still trying to learn, you know, what interests people, what they're actually going to be willing to pay for. It's been an interesting process, to say the least. I really want a big 12-inch contact wheel, but I just don't have money to buy one yet. I'll get there one day. I'm going to give my little spiel. I give on almost all my live streams, guys. I kind of lost purpose in life. Not being me and do my age. And I decided to find something to do, and making knives is what I decided on. But if you haven't found something to do, I strongly urge you to. There is nothing like a sense of purpose. And being able to step back and look at something that you made. It's built into our psyche. It's in our DNA. It's what we're put on this planet to do. To make things. To make something. Make birdhouses. Make Christmas ornaments, make leather wallets, make something, man. Your life will be much more enriched if you do so. Make fucking popsicle log cabins for all I care. You'll find somebody out there that's willing to buy it. Folks we got in here. 89, wow. For all of you who've never been here before, my name's Shane. and I make fixed blade knives. They're 100% handmade, U.S. source material. And I hate it. Some of my machinery is made overseas, but there just aren't any affordable U.S. options for me at the moment. Even those U.S. options, a lot of times the controls and stuff are made overseas. Show you what's happening there. Wonder why I'm stepping around the table so often while my shirt's wet. You have to dip that in water. This is already heat treated steel. So you have to keep it cool or you'll ruin the heat treat. Just grind and dip, grind and dip, grind and dip. You don't have to step. The grinder's usually turned the other direction and the bucket's right in front of me, but I don't have anywhere to hang the bucket on this side. Won't be much longer. I won't be able to stand in here. Make knives and shorts on. Even these Alabama nights are getting cooler and cooler. It gets too cold, I have to start working during the day. I'll freeze to death. That's why I'm working at night. I started that because it's just too dang hot. Guys who've been here before to watch me grind, you probably notice that I'm having to dip a lot more often. With these hollow grinds, you get the steel a lot thinner and it gets hot a lot faster. I can't make 4 or 5 passes anymore on one dip. Take a look at this in the light, guys. It's getting pretty thin. It ain't quite there yet. Yeah, I just stumbled to get you off that. I'm old and I have vertigo. I lose my balance very easy. Probably end up with a broke hip one of these days. to you, y'all. There's Brant. Well, Brant posted some beautiful pictures today. Benny Blanco, I'm in Dallas, Oak Cliff. Glad to see you, Benny. Fortune Spike. I work better than you. Probably do. I'm old and disabled. I just do the best I can do, man. So, you know, if you're here to troll and be mean, I don't care. I'll allow it. But I ain't gonna argue with you. This is almost done, guys. Got some knife scales to work on after this. I'm supposed to do some Kydex work tonight. I run off and left the Kydex at home. You know, typical old man memory. That's almost at a 0 edge. It's almost sharpened now. So thin. But I like them thin behind the edge. I want them to cut like a razor blade. I make some thick, hard use knives. And I'm pretty good at that too. But that's not where my passion lies. I like stuff that passes through media like it's not even there. Alright, that's about it. We're going to blow through it. We're going deeper. Let me get this off the pig so we can clean it up. This is the only part that sucks when you got it laid down like this is the changing the belts. A pain in the ass. There we go. Now we're going to put on a ultra fine Scotch-Brite belt just to clean up any of that rough scratch pattern. This part there's no jig, this is all done by feel. You can see the finish that Scotch-Brite wheel leaves on it, nice and clean. Of course, I'll clean this up afterwards too. Cleaning that flat up right there. Keep in there. It's hot pretty quick doing this stuff. That's what happens when it gets hot and you don't pay attention. You end up with an ugly, nasty burn. What we ended up with a hologram chunk of Nitro V. They're only about 6 inches. I'll make little taco sheets so these go in your pocket. Little everyday carry fixed blade. Nitro V is very tough. But, you know, the size of these, you're not going to get much torque. I don't know that I would use it for prying or heavy duty work like that. But people are prone to use knives for stupid reasons, so if you decide to, I guess that's up to you. So I've got 3 of those done. Still got to put handle scales on them. I've got 1 more of these that I'm not going to hollow grind. I'm going to flat grind it really thin. The reason for it is it's not a Warncliffe. It's a little small drop point. So to do that, I got to stand this back up. So let's get at it. It's going to be quite boring. Sorry. Hard to get down in there. Barely see these bolts. But that's where the adjustment happens. That's why I don't like to move this thing too often. I gotta go find my angle meter to make sure I've got this at 90 degrees. Hang on a minute. .1. Let me turn this around so you can see that. 88. Whoa. .89. 90. What we in Alabama like to call dead balls. Dead on. That's very important when you're doing flat grinds that you have that platen at 90 degrees. It makes the math really hard to do get everything else straight if you don't start off with a 90-degree platen. For those of you who don't know what a platen is, I'll show you in just a moment. The platen is this flat piece of steel right here. This is what the back of the belt rides against. When you go in to grind something, that's what you're pushing against. And this being nice and flat is what gives you a nice, smooth, flat grind. While I've got this moved out away from where it normally sits, I'm going to clean up because I can't usually get to this spot. And there's a bunch of stuff built up in here. All this grind is from many knife blades ground. Believe it or not, all that is metal. That'll go on the floor and go out the back door when I'm done tonight. Kyle, if you're in here, I'm sure you're amazed that I'm cleaning something up. So, you know, you can kiss my ass. Move this back up to my little stand here. This is my piece of marble that anytime I'm using it, when you see me using that jig, that's what I'm sliding that jig back and forth across, is that chunk of marble, because I know it's a perfectly flat surface. Now we got that stood up straight. I'm going to do a little more cleaning up before y'all don't pay attention to them boats and all that crap back there. It's not crap. This shop doesn't belong to me. It's my buddy's. And I love him like a brother. I'm pretty sure he does me too, but he allows me to use this area to make my knives. I could never afford a shop this nice. This place is big enough. We're talking new home type money, or at least in Alabama. We're starting to catch up. The housing market here is starting to get more and more expensive. The longer the Democrats are in office, seems like things get higher and higher. You can still buy a decent 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom house here in a nice neighborhood for about $140. So that's dirt cheap compared to most places around the country. I know what y'all might be thinking, well, why wouldn't you just grind that drop point hollow ground too? It's because hollow grinds are very hard to grind that sweep in the belly. And when you're using a wheel that small, there's no forgiveness, man. If you're just a hair off, the grind looks horrible. And I'm not experienced enough to pull it off yet. So that's fine, because I'm not good enough. Set this back up here and get my angle on my It's about 5.3 degrees. That's close enough to start. It's going to require some adjustment anyway. Grinding these because they're smaller, but I'm grinding them on a 60 grit belt. I typically do this grinding on a 36 grit, but these go by fairly fast anyway, so it's not really necessary to go with that aggressive a belt. First pass. How many people are in here? 125. Wow. What's up, Cheetos? Damn it, Shane. What is it, Christina? Oh, I didn't have my glasses down. Oh, cover up that outboard behind me. Yeah, he's getting a little frustrated with the metal dust that's getting everywhere. It's all sealed up though. He don't have it cracked open working on it. He just has the cowl off. Great thing about these little knives is everything goes way faster. Forgot to mark my center line. I got it now. I don't know what brand belt this is, but I'm not buying any more. I think it might be aluminum oxide because it gets hot very quick. Does a good job, but with ceramic, I wouldn't have to dip near as often. If you're noticing, but to get the bevel to ride up that belly, as I'm coming across, I have to pull this end out so that it dips in and rides up that belly like that. Not much, I don't know if you can notice it. But that's how you do that. Yeah, Shane's a real man. He plays with fire. But Snot Rag, Todd Carr, Paul Mills, since you're getting a respirator, I think I'd like to get some cross-cut chopsticks on. I've got my respirator. It's here. I'm just not wearing it right now. I'm not doing anything toxic. Is Kyle in here, Patina? For those of you that are new, I have a couple of mods. That's Mr. Patina Turner and Kyle Kinley. So, you know, start being an asshole, they'll time you out. Continue being an asshole, they'll throw you out. If you're bored and want to make fun of me, I don't have any issue at all with that. Be nice to the people in the chat, that's all I ask. Tanner, you see me using that digital angle? Just getting a perfect 90 degrees to see all that technical shit I was doing? I know you were impressed. Going off my shield. I ain't seen him, it's on his shirt. I talked to him earlier. He may not know I'm live. I thought y'all were like neighbors or something. I thought you saw him every day. Didn't you move to Ohio? Yes, very impressed. Thank you, buddy. Dana, I don't know if you were in here one night last week. My platen had gotten out of adjustment and I couldn't get my belt to retract just a little bit off this side. I was over here beating on it with a hammer, couldn't get it right. And I told me, I said, man, I guess it just wore out. I'm going to have to buy another one. There's adjustment bolts down here. Just had to loosen it a little bit. Apparently a hammer doesn't fix everything. I'm going to go full flat on this because it's not very tall. So I don't want it super thick behind the edge or anything. I don't believe anybody's going to be taking this off or using it as a cheese knife. It may be a little cutter. I kind of wish I'd switched back to that 36 grit belt now. It's going to take a while. I got nothing to do. You guys can chat amongst yourselves. Hammer, yeah. Hammer typically does what I need it to do. Sitting here complaining about grinding this on a 60 grit belt. Some of my first few I did the entire bevel removal with 120 grit. You don't talk about time consuming. But man, it looks pretty. We're getting there. A little over halfway done with this bevel anyway. But for those of you who have been here before, you know that last part's what takes so long because you're having to remove metal all the way across the blade. You get that point, you say, man, I'm almost there. And that last little bit takes you as long as all the rest of it did put together. Down to 100. Guys, the last little vertical live we did, I know y'all just like them, but it's the only way I can do these here. Had 6,000 views. Never had a live stream or video, anything get that many views. I didn't even have a half-naked girl in the thumbnail. guys, it's almost all the way to the top. I don't know what I'm talking about, that little light gray line there. Oh, I'm sorry. That light gray part at the top part that hasn't been ground yet. That's where we're trying to get, all the way to the top, full flat. Once we get there, we get here with the grind, and we're not at our track center line yet. We'll change the angle a little bit. Looks like we might hit it dead on though. Very rarely do I manage that. I wish y'all could have met some of those people I met this weekend in Tennessee, man. The only way I can describe them is they were like the Amish people without the outfits and the religion that had firearms. There is legit women there in ankle-length skirts with like a hemp rope tied around their waist with a pistol tucked in it. Real salty of those people, man. They were super nice. I haven't ground near enough out of the tip, guys. I'm way too thick out there. Usually the opposite issue I have. I usually grind it too fast. I gotta slow down and remove some steel out here. It's coming off pretty fast though. I do that by on the platen right here. As I drag it across, when I get to the tip, I pull this back side out about that much. I slowly sweep it out, and that causes it to sweep and turn up that belly. Because I'm tilting it, the belt's touching less metal, so it removes it faster. How close we are to hitting the spine, just that little thin gray line left up there. reach it, you want to change that angle and back off. If you don't want to cut into it, you better look down the spine of the knife and see a dip. That's ugly. And you're starting to remove your string. All right, we are there. I'm gonna adjust my angle a little bit until I hit that center line, then we can flip it over. A little bit thick in the belly. Kyle hates when I send them food thick in the belly. Makes them a real nightmare to sharpen. Looks like Kyle's here now. We were just talking about you, buddy. Well, I don't think he's going to have any problem sharpening this back. I don't know if I'll ever get it to pick it up. But they're almost zero ground. I can't get it. Yeah. Those should be fun to sharpen. Hopefully pretty effortless for you. Now, we had like 170 something people in here a little while ago. It was crazy. Pretty grind line. I love them. These These are a little slicker than some of the others I do. I'm not using 36 yet. A little more out of the belly, and we'll be done on this side. I think that'll do it. Let me go flip the blade over. I'll be right back. As this grinder motor gets so hot, you wipe water on it and it evaporates instantly. I can't believe I ain't burned it up yet. It's Harbor Freight, so I'll burn it up, get another one. Mind doing business with Chinese as long as I'm effing them over. Everybody leave yet? Yeah, but this number is starting to drop. I knew it wouldn't hang around long. Do not like these bells. They catch too much heat. That's the thing with belts though, when you start buying belts, you'll figure out what you like, what you don't like, you just don't ever buy anymore. I'll use them till they're gone, but they just get too hot. Guys, just so you know, just so you know, I never got to see those damn knives that Mom was talking about. He took entirely too long, and I don't think he ever shared his screen correctly. I never got to see them. I was begging because I had to get back to work. This side's kind of easy to see because there's blue paint on it. You can see that bevel rising up. Blue paint gone. Now all we're doing is getting it really thin at the edge with all the Sharpie. In there. If too much further, we're gonna blow through. Too thin. I'm gonna attempt a zero grind one day where there is no secondary bevel, but I have to get some higher grit belt. Slow this motor way down to make that happen. But I'd like to just experience it. Only one I've blown through, I blew through the 36 grit. Got down to a zero bevel and it looks serrated. I bet it cut the shit out of you though. You guys have seen how close my knuckle gets to that belt. That's why they're all scarred up. I'll come in, that knuckle right there, I'll bump it every now and then. Trying to be very cautious about that, not let that happen. I never feel it when it happens, but man, after a couple of days, my hands are sore. Getting thin, boy. You know it's getting thin. The reason it takes so many passes is we're not just getting thin at the edge. We're thinning it all the way up to the spine without hitting the spine. Making that whole bevel very thin all the way out. I don't know how to show that, I'm sorry. If I start pushing my luck, One more pass and we'll stop. That took about the same amount of time as the full-size knife, but it's because I'm not using as aggressive a belt, so that makes sense. The belt's not hot at all. What's weird about those? They I don't know. They leave all the heat in the metal. Now let me get this off the heat. If I ain't careful, I'm gonna put an edge on it. Turn her down some before we do. Careful cleaning this one up because it's already almost at a point where it will cut me if it catches. For some reason I can't remind myself to do that before I start the grinding. It would be much wiser. See if I can capture that behind the edge. like its camera is really good enough to catch it. But anyway, did cut vegetables right now. I'm gonna put some colorful handles on this one, so probably gonna acid wash it. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting a really good finish on it before you acid wash. The better the finish before you acid wash it, the better it looks after it's done. So let me get that wired up. We'll throw it in acid wash. Give me a minute. Let me find my hangers. There's one. Make acid wash one of those hologram ones too. Leave the other two satin. I don't know yet. I like the way the acid wash looks. So I just may. But I also like knowing I didn't have to. Got a little paint left on there. Let's get that off. Vulcanization on the heat treat to remove. Looks good to me. Maybe all the wires over here. I think I left it hanging in the bathroom sink. Let me go grab it. The only downside to putting these in, that means I'm stuck here for about 2 hours. That's how long it takes Nitro V to get good and dark. So we'll have to move on to doing something else. But I've got stuff to do, so that's not a problem. I've got Mr. Said Stevie's scales over here I got to start working on. Figure out where I put them. Give you guys some advice. If y'all get into making kydex, do not buy it from Amazon. Kydex they sell on Amazon is garbage. Or at least my experience with it has been. For those of you who haven't seen Stevie's knife, this is it. This big 12-inch chunk of crewware. I gotta get scales put on it, get it sent off to Kyle. Or Joe, or whoever's supposed to get it first. To show you what I did here, Kyle, you'll recognize this procedure. I put painter's tape on the micarta, and then I used a touch of super glue to glue the painter's tape together. That's going to hold these scales steady so that I can get them ground even and matched up. Oh yeah, this is what the respirator was for. Just like open that now. Complicated thing to figure out. It should sound ready to go. I got to install shit. Y'all still see me? That's what y'all care. I don't like this, I can tell already. It is definitely sized to the time. I don't even know if it's going to fit. In all honesty, may not work at all. To save me some embarrassment, I'm going to step off camera and try it. Guess I can't be dipping with the respirator on. Another reason why this sucks. Belt out. Done used about a pretty good bit. It's not cutting very good, so I'm going to swap it. I can breathe better. That wasn't all that bad. I gotta separate these pieces. Pieces themselves aren't super glued, but the painter's tape is. Just like that, it cracks right open. And that tape is strong. That peeled paint off your walls. You can't use that. I'm gonna go get this glued up. It's hard to picture what it's gonna look like. You're just clamping these big blocks on here, but rough this micarta up a little bit so that the epoxy sticks to it better. I may have to do this on the belt. This jute micarta that Stevie bought, this is the absolute toughest scale material I've ever experienced. All right, that gave it a little texture. Scuffed it up a little bit. Allow that epoxy to get in there and really get a bite. I don't know if I like that ramp or not. I'd sure hate to have to grind these back off. But I've done it now, so got to be done. If I don't like it, we'll redo it. Stevie don't like it. Whole world will hear about it. I'm sure he'll give me shit for months. Let me go get me something to stir this epoxy with. I'll be right back, guys. I get these scales put on, I got some new pin material I'm going to use. These are solid aluminum rods, 1/4 inch. That's going to be the pins for it. Of course, we're getting epoxy everywhere. That's going to require some cleanup. All right, let's get another clamp. All right, before that sets up, we got to get that epoxy off the blade, because that will look like shit. All I need to do that, some good old denaturized alcohol. All right, so we gotta let that set up. It says 5 minutes epoxy, guys. With 5 minutes epoxy, it's got a bond at 5 minutes, but it is not at working strength at 5 minutes. So you cannot be drilling it or sanding it or anything like that. You really still need to let it sit up overnight to make sure that is perma-hard. And I've learned that the hard way. You start trying to work it, even an hour from now, it can be too soon. And I'm not taking any chances. So leave those glued up. And do the, so what I'll do is, now that I got that side glued on, tomorrow when I come in, I will drill my pinholes and my lanyard hole and then glue the other side on. Once I glue that side on, I'll flip it over and drill back through this way to drill the second scale. That way I know all my pinholes are perfectly lined up, and all I have to worry about is getting this edge lined up. When I glue the other one on, just make sure it mirrors it. That's not how it teaches you to do it on YouTube. If you watch anybody install scales, they have a whole different process, and I respect that, but it don't work for me. So I guess since I've got to wait on that Nitro V to acid etch, I will start looking at getting some scales put on some of those little fixies. This is something I do. I've learned I get a better etch if I take it out every now and then and remove that layer of oxidization that is built up on the blade. I'll show you in a second. It seems like once it gets that black layer on it, that it doesn't get any blacker unless you kind of remove it, let some oxygen get to that. I guess it's chemical stuff. I don't know. But I've got a Scotch-Brite pad here that I typically just kind of rub it with. Remove some of that acid. Give it a little oxygen exposure, and then put it right back in there. And then, of course, I have to wash my hands, because now I have ferric acid on my hands. Or at least on my fingers. Oh, sorry. See what I'm talking about? In my experience, if you leave it in there for 2 hours and never take it out, it don't get as black as it does if you do it for an hour. Every now and then, take it out and rub it. That's another trick I learned on YouTube. I don't remember who it was, but I think they said to use a Brillo pad. I'm gonna go wash my hands, guys, get this acid off my hands. It's never hurt me. Never had any effects from it, but probably not healthy. I'll be right back. Guys, if that was a carbon steel, like M4, it'd be jet black already. Crewwear doesn't seem to get as black as M4. It gets a dark gray, but I've not done it long enough to get it jet black. I don't know. I get scared to leave it in there too long. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh, this is something else I tried. I can't show you what I was talking about. This, I acid washed. This is M4 that I acid washed. And I went back and I ran it across the ultra fine Scotch-Brite wheel. I want you to look at that. Man, it's really not showing up on camera like I thought it would. It's still fairly dark, but it's got some sheen to it. I really like that. But this night's going to a local guy. I was supposed to make the sheets for it tonight, and forgot my Kydex. So let me put this back. So I guess we can start scales on one of these little dudes. Kyle doesn't like the handle termination. I kind of agree. It's a little late at this point to be changing it up. I may do something a little different on the next batch, but it is what it is at this point. I think I've got some orange vintage micarta I want to put on at least one of these, so we'll do it first. This is it right here. This is not G10, this is vintage micarta in orange. So I'm gonna cut some of this out enough to, make 2 scales out of. Let me get my Sharpie. It's not mine, Meathead's Harbor Freight bandsaw does not like cutting micarta. This thing's just, their bandsaws are just bad weak. You're way better off buying a Portaband table adapter. You get a lot more power. However, it's not as, the blades aren't as flexible, so you can't make those tight turns with it. But I said, you get a lot more power. So I just rough trace the shape of the handle on here, cut it out on the bandsaw. This is some of that Amazon Kydex. Absolute waste of money. It's going to take a minute, like I say, because this don't cut it very fast. I've been trying to stay away from doing a straight, but I'll be honest with you, on this little bitty knife, I think just straight across is going to look better. Just my opinion. I don't know who that is texting me or whatever, but can't help you at the moment. Probably Kyle tell me something I'm doing wrong. Now on the inside. Down to 62 people. The hype is over, guys. It's officially come to an end. I guess I better make sure I got enough clamps. I don't need clamps for this one. I can put it in the vise. Narrow as it is. You know what? I'm gonna clean these angles off so I don't have to do it after they're installed. Let's go back and do that. I don't want to leave them 36 grit. That's something I tend to forget a lot for some reason. And once they're on there, they're really hard to work. It can be done, but it's hard. Really easy to mess up. That's strange looking stuff. I've never used it before. Doesn't really look like micarta. It almost looks like G10 when you put a little bit of polish to it. That is strange. I may not like this. gonna put it on it, and I'm gonna work it. If I don't like it, I'll grind it back off. But I don't know, man. It just has a strange texture on the inside. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This yellow right here at the tip of my finger, that doesn't come out. I don't know. Well, let's try sanding it on some sandpaper first. I may change my mind about using this. I don't know. I'd like to use it since I bought it, but if it doesn't give me my desired finish, there's no point. Get some sandpaper out. We'll go over here, run it across some sandpaper, see what it looks like. Might be a no-go. I will admit it wasn't expensive, so we may be finding out why it wasn't expensive. If you've ever worked with micarta, you've seen that yellow before. It's the epoxy inside there, but I've never seen it show up in pockets like that. It may be coming out. There's still a little, see that little yellow line? I don't like that. Looks like it's getting better. I just don't understand. I bet this is paper micarta. That's why I'm not seeing any texture. Because there's no, like, there's no texture in that. I bet that was a void in the paper created that little spot of bare epoxy. I don't know what it is about the epoxy they used to make micarta back then, but all your old epoxy, when you sand it, the epoxy itself is yellow looking. Still there. It is smaller than it was when I started. Maybe I can get it out. Hard for me to hold my fingers in one. At one angle like that. This is paper micarta. I bet I have to polish it to finish it. Yeah, it's coming out. I don't mind that. It's a lot of work. As long as the result is really pretty, I won't mind it. Okay, it came out. Came out completely. Yeah, this is going to require polishing to ever look right. I thought it was going to have some like canvas micarta texture to it. But I bet what I bought was paper micarta. Just don't remember. It was on clearance. That whole sheet was like $4. Now we may know why it was on clearance. Paper micarta is pretty when it's polished, so we're gonna put some white pins in it and call it creamsicle handles. So it's kind of that creamsicle orange. Yeah, most of that's coming out now. I guess when I cut it, it just exposed some of it briefly. But man, if I'd went ahead and put that on the knife, I would have never been able to got that back off there. Because that would have been right at the ricasso of the blade. I'd have scratched the blade all up trying to sand that off. So it looks like after some 600. Yeah, that's definitely paper micarta, guys. That has zero texture to it. But we got acid etching going on, so we got nothing better to do. Just looks orange. Huh. Maybe somebody out there will love orange. I know Justin at OCD previously likes orange. So maybe I won't install these at all tonight. I may glue some white G10 liners and have white pins. I think that'll make it pop a little more. I just don't care for this color by itself. Well, it feels nice. It feels like glass when you sand it, man. Shit is slick. Let me get some 1200. Go ahead and do that, bro. I'm not gonna put them on tonight anyway. Almost going out of there right there. Wet that up a little bit. Oh yeah, looks a lot better at 1200. The orange like darkens up, gets deeper looking. I'll show you. It's like a piece of orange candy. Yeah, that is pretty. I can work with that. Here you go to make a knife. Remember that, guys. When you do that little slant, you don't want your handles just square at the tip. You cut that little 45 in there. You have to finish that before you install them because you don't have a chance to after. And I'm not saying that like I'm a pro. Kyle can tell you I learned that the hard way. So I'll leave those pieces there because I got to put some white liner on them. Let me go see if I got. I think I still got a piece of. Yeah. I'm going to use my last piece of this stuff to do the handles on the other one. Can almost get 2 sets of these actually. It won't take much. I won't get 2 sets, but I don't know. That's really close. Let me get a tape measure. Hang on. It's 5 3/4 inches long, so that'd be. That's not midway. It's not right. Don't look right. Oh, you guys can't see nothing, can you? Somebody Google and tell me what half of 5 3/4 inches is. 2.5 puts us at 5, so half of 3/4 would be 3/8 past 2.5. That look, yeah, that's right. Now let's see if that will work for 2. It might. I ain't gonna worry about it though. I ain't gonna try to stretch it to get more than 2 sets of it. I'll use it for a bolster or something. All right, let's get these cut out. saw won't cut a straight line to save its life. It always turns in the same direction. So now I got 2 pieces of this. Let's see if we can make that happen. Of course, we're not ready to install it yet. I just want to, it's got a curve on it right there. I want to match that on this piece, because this one doesn't have the same curve. Let me go rub that right quick. Cross it around there for a second. Now there's the thing. And this is only 1/8 inch scale, so I'm not going to taper the edge just because they're so thin that it doesn't look chunky. If you do, it looks just fine the way it is. All right, so where'd that? There it went. I'm gonna scuff this up so the epoxy can stick to it good. This has got a little bit of texture to it where it came off the bandsaw, but it might be a little too much. So just rub it down some. The epoxy would fill most of those voids. Give it something to hang on to. Let's see, so if that's this side. This side's the side we'll glue. And then for a little alcohol wash on the scales. And the blade. So now I know that's good and clean. I always put down tape to mix my epoxy on. That way I don't have a container or anything to throw away when I'm done. I can just peel the tape off and throw it in the garbage. For the most part, it keeps the epoxy off the counter. I'm, to be honest, a pretty messy worker. So I've already got some epoxy on it, and I just cleaned this up before I started tonight. So I don't stir this around because it spreads out so thin. And I don't know if it's all, I kind of chop it into itself and move it around. And you can kind of tell because the epoxy will get kind of hazy looking when it's mixed. And this is not like that like this epoxy. You don't have to stir it for 5 minutes. Matter of fact, this sets up in 5 minutes. This reacts pretty fast. A scale this small, I don't bother trying to wipe it on. I just drag it through the puddle, get a coating of it on there. You don't actually need a whole lot. Place that down on there. Clamp that in. Again, leave it overnight. I am going to take a break for a minute. Take you guys outside. Read up on a little bit of the chat. Smoke a cigarette, even though I don't smoke. I guess I can't really say that. I smoke every now and then. Said Stevie. She's chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. It's good. We got good acoustics in here. Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe. How about that one? Cheeto's driving home. Cheeto, you be safe. Don't be chatting and driving, buddy. Maybe I got yours clamped, one side on, clamped up. I've learned to give that shit 24 hours to set up solid. When I get home tonight, I'm going to order some more of that scale material that you sent me. And if I don't like the way I shape this, I'll have some to redo it, but I won't tone some anyway. Navy beans, meatloaf sandwich. Is that new Marlboro metal dust cigarette? I don't know what these are. I think these are like some $4 a pack menthols. I enjoy one every now and then. So are we back to just our crew? Is it just earlier we had almost 200 people in here. Looks like it's just our crew. Dan what? That doesn't sound familiar, but welcome, Dan. He's probably already gone. I ain't gonna be here a whole lot longer. I get done with this cigarette, probably gonna take that Nitro V out of the acid wash and neutralize it. Call it a night. I've got everything that I can ground. I've got everything glued up that I can glue up. I've got still to cut up into size, but I forgot to stop and get cutoff discs. So done about all I can do tonight. Oh no, Shane's talking analytics now. It's contagious. Well, this is the thing, man. There's two types of YouTubers. There are those who want to make a living at it, and then there's those that just play with it. But even if you just play with it, you know, it's pretty obvious, you know, like I said, Stevie's not trying to build a channel that pays him a huge paycheck. You know, he wants to have a channel where him and his buddies can hang out and have a good time. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm sure he will admit if he puts out a video and it gets more views than normal, it feels good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're worried about it all the time and it's all the fuck you talk about during your live streams, it can be a bit annoying. Kyle knows a thing or three about Contagious. You know, if Said Fashion got to where it was a couple of hundred people on Friday night hanging out in there, I think it would, you know, it would hinder us. It would take some of the personality out of it. You know, it wouldn't be as intimate, but you know, more viewers always feels good. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I was excited when I saw I had 6,100 views on that last live, but I know they're vertical. People stop in for 5 seconds and leave. That's okay. It's a beautiful night out here tonight, man. You see every star in the sky. Is anybody in the path of this incoming hurricane? What's up, Shaw? I'm good. Any of you guys in the path of this next hurricane that's coming? And with that, this video is brought to you by Square. Let's take a moment to talk about our sponsor, Montego Cigarettes. I kind of guess I did have my first sponsor, really. I'm sure I've already mentioned this. Most of you have already heard it, but they asked me to do a sharpening demonstration at the Self-Reliance Festival. It actually went really well, man. I was shocked how many people. I had a crowd, and they were kind of doubtful. And I told, there was probably a lady in her late 40s there. She's talking about, you know, she's had to throw knives away because when they get sharp. And I was like, I can teach you to sharpen a knife. I'll let you sharpen it, and it'll shave hair within 15 minutes. So I set her up showed her how to set up the work sharp. She was asking, you know, what pattern. I was like, ma'am, it don't matter if you go in circles, back and forth, sweep. And she did all of it. All kind of crazy patterns. She did it, got a burr, flipped it, got a burr, flipped it, you know, went through the grip progression, got done. And hair was just flying off my arm. She was amazed. And everybody started grabbing those Work Sharp stickers so they could remember the name. They'd never heard of Work Sharp. But I called them about the sharpening demonstration and told them, you know, I could take my stuff, but it was kind of old and dingy and used. So they sent me all brand new. They sent me a Precision Adjust, a field sharpener, and 4 or 5 of the little diamond and ceramic little pocket sharpeners pull through. They weren't carbide though, at least. And I gave it all away. And so I probably strummed up more business for Work Sharp than I did myself, in all honesty. There's a friendly kitty cat over there. I don't know if you can see him. What are you doing, buddy? I don't think there's any food out. Did y'all see him? Brody XD. What's up, Brody? How you doing, buddy? I think I've ever seen you here before. I'm just taking a break right this minute. Shane don't have his glasses on. It's a raccoon. That's funny. If it's a raccoon, it's got up in my lap a couple of times. And the only problem is it's not declawed, so when it climbs on you and loves on you, it's painful. Yep, it went straight to the food bowl and there's none. Let me go get him some food. Because he's a hell of a mouser. He keeps the mice out of here for sure. Oh, I think he went in the shop. He probably knows where the food is. It's not Meathead's cat, but he sets food out for it. We don't think it belongs to anybody. It brings the remnants of dead stuff up here all the time. Get him some water because he wants it. Now, cat, you can't be in here because if I don't know you're in here and I go to leave, that's going to be a problem. I think the cat just hunts all night. If it doesn't have any luck, it comes by here to get food. It's extremely healthy though. Maybe even borderline overweight, just a little bit. It's a fat, healthy cat. It's a big one too. Man, I hope it didn't come in here and hide somewhere. If so, it's going to end up locked up in here. I don't see him or her. I still don't know how to tell the sex of a cat. Where are you right now, bro? I am in Glencoe, Alabama, in my shop where I make a huge mess making knives. And I'm taking a break at the moment. That's why I'm walking around very random. But I'm almost done for the night. I was gonna see if I had one here to show. I know I got a finished knife here somewhere. Don't know where I put it. I spent all night walking around this place looking for something I just had. But here's one that I made. I've got a couple other knives I got to get finished up so I can send a bunch of them at one time to Kyle. Shane when you pickle my outfits, 2024 girls can have balls. I don't know that. How do you see that? I mean, we've took 2 cats to have them spay and found out that they were male and were already neutered. So I don't know, man. I don't see anything down there. Only thing I can find on the cats is butthole. But I don't guess it came in here. I don't know. It's not at the food bowl. I ain't got time to worry about it. If it gets locked in, it'll be fine till I let it out tomorrow night when I get here. Francisco Castro. That's nice. It's pretty cool, bro. It's midnight here in LA and I seen it. I was like, God damn, where's this homie at? Well, I mean, if it's midnight in LA, fuck, what time is it here? Like, must be 2 a.m. or so. But let me put this back in the stand and I'll show you guys the result of that acid wash I just did. I've got a chest rig to hold. Oh God, I did it again. I zoomed. I do not know how to unzoom. Only in Bama, Cisco. Does anybody know how to unzoom when you're on vertical? I don't. Shit. That's not. No, I spun the camera around. Let's see if it unzooms when I put it back. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'm about to take some Nitro V out of a bath of ferric acid I've been doing an acid wash on. So after that, we're going to be about done, guys. That's what I do after I take it out. So you can see it's still not jet black. Nitro V just won't get black. It'll get gray. And that's about it. That Windex has ammonia in it, and ammonia neutralizes ferric acid. So it's officially neutralized. Looks like I need to buy some Windex before I come back too. But I'm not doing any more acid wash for a little bit. I just want to do a couple of these, give people an option. And And that was Meathead's Windex. It was nearly new when I started. He gonna cuss me. I'll buy him a bottle tomorrow while I'm going to get cutoff wheels. Let's go rinse these off. See how dark they got. There's nowhere to take the camera in the bathroom, guys. I just have to set it right here. You'll have to bear with me for about a minute. All right, so I can take these off the hangers. You can't really tell what they look like until you wipe them, because a bunch of black stuff's gonna come off when I wipe these off. They're not gonna be near as dark as they are right this minute. I wish they would stay this dark, but that's just part of acid washing stainless. It just don't. Get over here and get a clean rag. You'll see all the oxidization come off when I wipe it. Oh, wrong way. I probably got a half hour cleanup to do. I ain't done. Haven't made as huge a mess as I do sometimes, but well, I don't know. It's pretty dark. Still not as dark as that M4. That is the result. It went from shiny stainless steel to that. You can see all that black coming off. That, my friend, is a hollow ground, acid washed joke wolf. Fuck you, Ben. You Chinese garbage. That's it for tonight, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll see you guys then. I will probably go live sometime after Maddie's done. So yeah, tomorrow is Wednesday, right? Yeah. But anyway, all right. Well, that's it. I'm gonna clean up, close up, and head to the house. Appreciate you guys stopping by.